One of the subjects that hasn't been covered on finance so far are practical things that we can look at doing when the banks start to fall over. Now, there's been over 142 banks fall over in America in the last couple of months. We all know that the banking cartels are deliberately perpetrating the crash. But what can we do ourselves? Well, one of the things I look at is where our money's kept. And I mean, there might be more experts out there that'll shoot me down on this one, but I would say take your money out of the banks and put it into a credit union instead. Simply because banks can be taken over at the whim of what they call a hostile takeover by another bank. But credit unions, everyone's a shareholder and they can't be taken over at whim by a bigger bank. Also, do not, if you have safety deposit boxes, invest in a safe in your own house somewhere, because the moment the bank closes its doors, so too is the door closed to your safety deposit box. You cannot get it out. There are banks in America that are now handed over their safety deposit boxes to private companies who are now going through everyone's safety deposit box and deciding what they will release and what they will not release during a crisis. It's going to come to this country too. So invest in a decent sort of safe, put it in your wherever, in your wardrobe or somewhere where you feel comfortable that it won't be easily seen, and a decent sized one, and don't a bottle to the floor and wall, and not just something that somebody can pick up and carry away. The other thing that you can do is invest in gold and silver, simply because yes, the big money changers own the bulk of the gold, but they're not going to devalue their own wealth. They hold gold as being wealth and they hold silver as being wealth. So you will always be able to sell quantities of gold and silver to pay for food to eat. Your family will be able to eat on $1 American silver dollar will pay for a week's worth of groceries when the trouble really hits the fan. So I would say invest in not so much the American dollars, 1937 Australian crowns from the crown, which was about 1 ounce of sterling silver. All coins printed in Australia before 1945 were made of sterling silver coins, were made of sterling silver. All gold was 22 karat gold. So sovereigns and 1937 crowns are the two best coins to invest in. You can still get them on eBay. You can get coins and coin shops and so on at what they call scrap value, where the coins are not specific date to collectors that are worthy of anything. And you're not after top quality condition for the coin. You're not a coin collector, you're just after the coin for its gold value. Never could get my mouth around that word. So on eBay you can pick up gold sovereigns for as low as about $200 each, and 37 crowns for as low as about $15, $20 each if you watch how the market goes. So that sort of investment is good. Also, with your money, have some cash at home, and also have some cash in your credit union, and also have some cash in, say, I would suggest a Swiss bank account, because the one country in the world that has never had its banks taken over during a world war is Switzerland. And I know it sounds like the place that the gangsters put their money into, and it is. But it is a safe institution, and what I'm saying is diversify, don't have all your money in one nest. The other practical things that we need to look at is when the economy crashes and when the government starts doing things like rationing, which they usually do, especially during a world war, we need to start saving aside large quantities of goods that won't perish in a short period of time. Rice, flour, coffee, tea, sugar, all of those necessities that are going to become very expensive when the economy crashes. So consider protecting yourself that way, and also, if you've got the area, start growing your own vegetables and fruit trees. Because you can eat your own vegetables and fruit trees and you can make sure they're organic, and you can save yourself a lot of money on not having to buy them at inflated prices. Who remembers when bananas were $18 a kilo? Well, okay, we can't grow banana trees in certain areas, but still, grow your own vegetables and fruit as much as you possibly can, and that will help you ride out the financial crash. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. I have some advice. This is just for gentlemen in the room. The ladies can tune out. And this is just before our tea. Gentlemen, particularly if you're having any trouble at home or in the marriage, remember that no woman ever shot a bloke when he was doing the dishes. Please come back in 20 minutes at 3:30. David's given me 2 notes so far about his 5-minute talk, and I've lost them both. However, David Milligan is going to talk about what does $1 trillion look like? Correct. Let's welcome David.
Thank you, Dennis. I thought I'd put my name down on the sheet because he inspired me somewhat. I didn't come intending to talk today. But what I thought with that news, I suppose we all heard last week that the stock market in New York had dropped $1 trillion in one day. Did we all hear that? And I thought at the time, what does $1 trillion actually look like? Gee, that must be a lot of dough. So I hurriedly went down to my national bank, and I might change my bank shortly, and withdrew a $100 note. And then I went back to my little base office and I measured it. And then I calculated, oh, by the way, is there anyone in the audience with a $100 note here today? A $100 note? Dennis, you got a $100 note? He does this to everyone, so why don't I repay the favour? Yes,
now,
he does.
On what condition am I handing this across to you?
that you'll get it back intact. That's what a $100 note looks like. Most of us don't know that well because we hardly carry any.
Don't smudge it.
It's under your clock. So I measured that note. Oh, by the way, I've spent mine since. And then I calculated what $1 trillion was in $100 notes. And then I calculated how much distance that was in kilometres. And then I looked up, or I googled, the Australian mainland in kilometres, around the mainland, not including any islands. And do you know that $100 notes, side by side, 46 of them, will go right around the coast of Australia?
46, aren't they?
46 times, you know, like it'll go once, 46 times around mainland Australia in $100 bills. That's what $1 trillion is. Now, the other figure that's relevant, of course, is that $750 bailout that you were talking about. And that almost is $1 trillion. I suppose it depends on the exchange rate, doesn't it? But, yeah, it's a lot of dough. And I thought, well, since this conversation this afternoon is all about dough, this afternoon, primarily, I'd try and explain just what that measure is. So that was my talk. Thanks very much.